Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm doing another 14-team fantasy football mock draft. This time we're drafting from the fifth spot in a 14-team standard scoring mock draft. We'll show you how to win your league by winning your draft. Let's start this fantasy football podcast right meow. Hey guys, welcome back. All right, we are doing another 14-team fantasy football mock draft. This time we're hitting it from the fifth spot standard scoring league. It's been a while since I've done a 14-teamer, so hopefully it's not too rusty. I hadn't forgotten about all of you guys who were doing those 14-teamers. It's been maybe a month since I've done one, so this is the first one in a while, guys. So give me a little slack. Hopefully I can help you out on this. Let's head over to the mock draft and see what we've got rolling. As you can see already, I've got it set up to go from standard fifth spot, 14 team. We're going to do 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex, 1 tight end, 1 QB, 1 defense, 1 kicker, 6 bench spots. We're going to roll with a 60-second clock. So let's see what we got, guys. Hopefully we can get something good up front. I like the fifth spot for the most part in standard scoring. I think that it's a decent spot. You've got a little bit of a difficult decision depending on who's falling down the board. Right now, you've got Saquon, who's unable to make it to the field so far, and so he's sitting down there. You've got Ezekiel Elliott at the top, Nick Chubb as well. I think those are both great options. Aaron Jones is hiding out there. Jonathan Taylor. We're not obviously going to reach for Tyreek or Devontae Adams or even Diggs and Ridley. I think all of those guys can go into the second round potentially. We might see somebody slip to us. I doubt it. I very much doubt it. All right, so let's see here. I think that I will probably end up here on Ezekiel Elliott, but let's talk through the 2 options here. Zeke is in a high-volume offense that wants to run a lot of plays, I think, this year. The issue that I see for him, and I don't see it for him personally, is that Mike McCarthy just never supports a premier running back. Nick Chubb is on a run-first offense. They're going to try to use that second back, Kareem Hunt, quite a bit, but I'm going with Nick Chubb in that spot over Ezekiel Elliott. I think Elliott needs to be drafted somewhere higher than the 8th pick. That's where I think that he should be. That's just based on what I've seen happen in Mike McCarthy offenses. As you can tell, I'm a fan of the Packers, and so I've seen Mike McCarthy just really ruin too many running backs. All right, if we are looking at wide receiver here, we've got A.J. Brown hanging out there. For some reason, they're not suggesting A.J. Brown. I don't really understand. Oh, there he is. Darren Waller's an option. I'm not taking him that high, though. Second round, I don't think that's a great pickup. If we're looking at wide receiver, we've got Terry McLaurin as well as Allen Robinson and Keenan Allen down there. Mike Evans for some people who like Mike Evans. His volume was way down during the season. They added Antonio Brown. His volume dropped a little bit more, but then things kind of got right for him a little bit in the playoffs, and he started getting a higher volume. So that's worth noting. If I'm looking at running back here, you've got Hilaire, Dobbins, but I'm going with wide receiver, and it's going to be A.J. Brown. I can't pass up that opportunity. I like Terry McLaurin a lot, and I think that he's going to be a top 5 wide receiver. So you should consider in that spot that taking Terry McLaurin's not terrible. If you're in a 12-team league, I think you wait until the 3rd round and hope that McLaurin falls to you. As you can see on this one, he actually just went at the top of the 3rd round. So it was an opportunity that he might fall to us there. And that would have been really, really sweet. Would have been awesome. All right. So we've got running back, wide receiver already. The running backs are thinning out a little bit. These aren't terrible pickups right here. You've got Carson, Swift, Miles Sanders, Myles Gaskin. I don't know who out of these guys I would really grab, I guess. Maybe Chris Carson. But the wide receivers are a little bit more valuable here. And I think that there could potentially be a drop off. Yeah, there's a lot of value, but I think we grab one of these guys here. And we're going to be a little bit lighter on running back potentially that way. Let's go running back, and then we'll come back and get wide receiver. There's good depth there, and we're going to go with Chris Carson. both Swift and Sanders are on my do not draft list for reasons that you can check out on that episode. You'll see why I prefer the other guys, and I don't like them that much. You'll also see in the draft yesterday that Kareem Hunt fell way down the board in that 10-team draft. I think I got him in like the 8th round, if I recall correctly. So that's just amazing. I think we go back to wide receiver here. We went running back, wide receiver, running back. I think we come back to wide receiver. We intentionally passed on wide receiver because I thought that some of the value that was sitting here was going to be really good. There's Lockett. That's not a terrible pick. Cooper Kupp, that's a pretty good pick as well. I think between those two, that's probably where I'll end up. Let's see what's happened over here at tight end, though, just to keep an eye on things. There's a few guys down the board here on tight end that we can hang out, wait for. They're way out there. I'm not going to reach for, I'm not going to grab Mark Andrews here, and I'm not going to go get TJ Hawkinson at this spot. I think I'm between Kupp and Lockett. Running back, yeah, maybe Mike Davis at this spot if you wanted to go really running back strong. You do have Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott here if you wanted to go there, but in the 4th round, I'm not going QB. Instead, I'm going to go wide receiver, and I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp. I think that he's going to have a little bit of a bounce back. I think that offense got right toward the end of the year, and that's good for him. I do like Robert Woods, Bobby Trees. I like him a lot better in this spot. I think that, or in that offense, and I think that's just something I prefer. But I don't mind Cooper Kupp. He has killed it with volume before. All right, so we can bounce back and forth here. We're in the 5th round. We can go and check out running back. Look, there's some decent running backs that have fallen down the board. They're appropriate picks here. Mike Davis is there. Raheem Mostert is banged up all the time. Javonte Williams, we don't really know what's happening there, and I would actually draft Melvin Gordon over him right now. People are still going after Javonte Williams ahead of him. I don't really understand it. I think Melvin Gordon's going to be the running back 1 there, at least for the time being. I don't see that changing anytime soon, honestly. I do like Ayuk a lot. That's not a bad pickup. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert. We could go and grab any one of those QBs. 5th round is really early for me. I haven't tested it out a whole lot, but we are in a 14-team league. I think that where we're going to go is either wide receiver or running back, and we're going to go with wide receiver. We're going to go with Brandon Ayuk. It's just the way we fell. This is that point in the draft where you can go either way in most things. All right, so we're probably leaning running back here. Let's see what's happened. It's thinned out a little bit, it looks like. Yeah, we lost Melvin Gordon there and Ronald Jones, but Trey Sermon is hanging out there. A lot of people are going to maybe say that his ADP says you should wait on him. I don't think so. I think that he's the running back 1 in that team. Let's see what's happened over here, though, on QB as well as tight end. We can wait on tight end. Logan Thomas is down there. Robert Tonyan, got Goddard and Fant as well. So we can wait on those things. I think that we go with Trey Sermon or we go with Justin Herbert. I think that's where we're at. It's between Trey Sermon and Justin Herbert, and I think we can risk waiting on Trey Sermon. I like him a lot. I would love to get him in my flex spot. I think that would be an awesome pick. 6th round, getting Justin Herbert. That's a pretty good value in the 14-team draft. That's a pretty good value, getting Justin Herbert there. 14-team is going to go really, really deep. And look at that. Trey Sermon still fell down the board. We can go ahead and grab him in the 7th round here. Let's make sure that tight end hasn't thinned out. It has not. I would prefer to wait on tight end if I can. I think we could figure that out from there. All right. Wide receiver. We're going to sit and wait on that. There's no reason to go grab depth there. I think what we do is we grab Trey Sermon. Just make sure that there's nobody else here. He's going to be a running back 1 on that team. And I think even when Mostert is healthy or Jeff Wilson is healthy, I still see Trey Sermon getting a lot of the carries. I think he's going to be the primary carrier, and I think that Mostert's going to come in to try to put the games away. And so I like Trey Sermon a whole lot. I think that they like him too. They traded up for him, if I recall, into the 2nd round maybe. All right, so we are done with QB at this point. We do need to get a tight end at some point. 8th round is about where I think we should start really considering it, especially if those guys haven't gone yet. I think they'll start falling off of the board here shortly. So it's between Fant, Tonyan, Logan, Thomas is gone. So we're going to go with probably Fant. I don't really like the QB situation in that offense right now. It's a bit concerning, and there's a lot of mouths to feed. I think the same can be said, though, of Tonyan as far as there's too many people eating up targets there. I would like to see the cuts that are made before I grab him. So I'm going to go with Fant. Obviously Tonyan doesn't have the issues with the QB, right? That Fant does, but I think that's the right move there. All right. Would have liked to have seen A.J. Dillon last a couple picks more here. That would have been a nice snag at this point here in the 9th round. But we'll go and grab probably a running back, but let's check out wide receiver just to make sure where we are. Michael Gallup is sitting there. That's not a bad grab there. That'd be our 4th wide receiver or our 4th running back at this point. So if you haven't done too many 14 teams, it thins out pretty quick, guys. You start, your depth picks are guys that you're hoping carry volume or get new volume that you didn't see coming, kind of. And so you have to anticipate a little bit more of what's going to happen there. Michael Gallup is not a bad pick here. We're looking at backups in a lot of ways. Latavius Murray. I think, though, that Jamal Williams and Tony Pollard are both likely to get decent volume. The same reason I don't like Ezekiel Elliott is because Tony Pollard is going to get a lot of volume, I think. I think he's going to get at least 30% of the carries. Jamal Williams, they've already said he's going to get at least 30% of the carries. And I don't think it's set that Swift ends up with the running back 1 job. Jamal Williams is the guy I grabbed there. If you're not watching or you're listening, that's who I went ahead and grabbed there. It's just, for me, I think that he's going to get a lot of volume in Detroit. And I don't think that offense is going to be able to do a whole lot. They're going to need a lot of pass protection because I think they're going to be in negative game scripts. And so he's going to be on the field quite a bit. It's just the nature of it. All right, if we look at wide receiver, for some reason, Reagor is flying up in the rankings, but not the draft board. I'm not a huge fan of that offense. I think I've said a million times to everybody. And so I think that you can hold off on that. I think his talent is really, really good. It's just that offense scares me. It's just not. I think it's gonna be problematic. I don't think they're gonna be able to get enough time for Jalen Hurts often to be able to throw deep, and I don't think he's very accurate. So yeah, I think we go with wide receiver though. Let's just double check, see where we're at. I think we go wide receiver here. I think the value's better there. And there's Traquan Smith, or there's Jalen Reagor. And Reagor, I think, is a reach. I think we can go and grab him, though. I'm not as afraid of the other targets that are in that offense as I might be with somebody like Gabriel Davis or Christian Kirk. Emmanuel Sanders is now in Buffalo, and so I think that eats into Gabriel Davis's opportunities. I like Gabriel Davis a lot. I think that the dude's got some real talent and could be really, really good. It's just that he's in a bad situation right now. He's just not getting he's not going to get the volume that we want to see. And that's what he needs. All right. Marlon Mack coming back from a torn Achilles. I think I saw a statistic the other day that only like one other running back has ever come back from a torn Achilles and produced on any level. It's Tevin Coleman. I mean, it's getting pretty thin over here on running back now. So we're taking shots on guys if we're taking anything here. It's a little bit early, possibly. Everything's kind of a reach between running back and wide receiver at this point. If you want to see what's available at QB and tight end, you can kind of take a peek here. There's decent stuff there. There's Robert Tonyan over on tight end and Mike Gesicki. That's a great pick. But we're going to go with, we're going to try with Gabriel Davis and hope that Emmanuel Sanders doesn't eat into his volume. All right, let's see where we're at. We've got 3 more picks. We have 5 wide receivers, 4 running backs right now. I think we want to stick to running back here at least. Probably this pick, probably the next 2 picks. All right, I like Salvon Ahmed. I think that he's going to get some okay volume. I think that he's just one injury away from being the running back 1 on that team. And so I think that's not a bad grab there. I think there's a lot of just at this point, it gets so thin in a 14-team league, it gets really hard to go grab these guys. So I'm between Salvon Ahmed and I kind of like Giovanni Bernard, but that's, I think, on past production in the 12th round at least, right? Wide receiver, it's just a lot of guys that you're hoping beyond anything that they are able to come up with some sort of value, because I think that it's just a lot of guys who are just, second team kind of dudes. Salvon Ahmed is where we're going to go. Couldn't talk myself into somebody else there, I suppose, right? All right, 13th round. We're getting there. Let's go ahead and grab, I think, another running back, but let's just double check where we're at. One more running back probably will do it. And one more wide receiver, and then we'll go ahead and grab defense and kicker. I always push those to the back because I'm just gonna rotate those guys on and off the waiver wire the whole season probably, just because those are more matchup dependent. Now, kicker less matchup dependent, obviously, right? But still. All right, wide receiver. Let's see. We've got Allen Lazard. At this point, I don't feel bad reaching for anybody because these are my last 2 bench spots, and so I'm gonna go get guys that I think have real possibility tied to them. Amari Rodgers is a guy I would keep an eye on. I would add him, just star him, keep him on your list of guys. I think you need to watch Green Bay and see what shakes out with their wide receivers. They have a lot of wide receivers in camp, and so not all of them are going to make it. I think, though, that what we do here is we go with somebody like Josh Kelly, actually, because right now they haven't brought in a vet into that camp. I don't know what they're going to do, but I think they're going to stick with the 2 running backs, Darrell Henderson and Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly, he was full of promise like 2 years ago and just never really took it over. So we'll see what happens, though. He could end up with something. Right now, I think everybody's just resolved that it's Darrell Henderson. He's the guy, and they're probably right. But here we are. We're just taking a couple flyers and see what's happening. Allen Lazard, I think, is a guy who's definitely going to make this team because he blocks really, really well. I think Amari Rodgers is going to make the team. Obviously, he was a very high pick for them, 3rd pick, I think, this year. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, I think there's a possibility they give him his walking papers. It's a very small possibility, but I think it's there. I do. I just don't see that he's making the right moves all the time. So I'm going to go with Allen Lazard, I think, here. There's guys like Rondale Moore if you want. He's a great possession receiver, and he could get used in that offense pretty solidly, but he is competing heavily with other guys there. There's so many mouths to feed. A.J. Green, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, not to mention, the tight ends they've got there. Everybody. That's going to be really tough. All right. Let's pick up our defense and kicker. I actually like Miami's defense, but hanging around here is still Tampa Bay, so we'll go ahead and grab them, and then we'll grab our kicker. All right. So I mentioned this in the last episode. We've got our power rankings out. Those are a premium resource, and if you're hanging around during the season, we'll talk about those things, but you can also sign up at our website for membership and access to our premium resources. And one of the things that you get from that with the power rankings is that it is so predictive and so, I guess it digs in so deep the way that we've set this algorithm up. It digs in so deep at figuring out patterns and who's producing, who's not getting seen yet by other people or being caught yet. It is almost like a cheat code for kicker and defense. And so it predicts pretty well in advance. It can show you who's doing well and who's likely to do well, what situations they're doing well in, and it's going to be able to help you figure out who you can grab really quickly off the waiver wire a week in advance maybe of anybody else. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and grab, I think, Tyler Bass here. I think that's who we're going to grab. Kicker thinned out pretty quick on us. We're going to grab Tyler Bass, and we're going to leave it at that, guys. All right, so we'll let it finish out for us, but we're going to head over here and check out everything else. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this week. If you want to check out if you're doing a 10-team draft as well, check out yesterday's episode. You'll be able to click that on the screen here shortly. And if you have a request for a specific draft that you want done, or you want to see what I would do, or maybe even Justin, what either of us would do, feel free to drop a comment down below. Let us know what that draft is. We'll try to get it as quickly as possible, set up and loaded in. I think we're going to start doing a lot more drafts over the next couple of weeks, try to make sure that we have something coming out every day with a draft so that you guys are getting all of your questions answered. Feel free to hit that like button down below, as well as subscribe. We're trying to get as many subscribers as we can before the season starts, and we want you to help us out. We're trying to help you out. Help us out. Spread the word about us. Let everybody know that we're out here grinding. We're going to be around the whole season. We're going to drop 5 episodes a week. Plus, we are going to this season add in a live stream pregame Sunday morning before any of the games start, so we can talk about weather, injuries, and any other questions you might have. If you want to get access to that after the first few weeks, you're going to need to be a member of the Upside Legion, and you can do that by heading over to our website. You can sign up there. It's ffbupside.com, and you'll get access to all of our pregame streams. All right, guys, thanks a lot for hanging around. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.